7 talaga kami mag-i-start.
Hello, and magandang gabi sa inyo lahat at welcome to Feel Good with Tato. I'm Tato Malay and we're here right now at Wow Very Good Live. At live na naman tayo ngayong gabi kasama ang ating isang, of course, regular dito sa Wow Very Good Live, si Sensei o Dream Sensei Lucito de Jesus.
Ang kung minsan o madalas o lang malay, dahil natutulog dahil sa dreams.
Of course, ano tawag dito, pag kasama natin si Dream Sensei dito, may programa siya mamaya, alas 7.
A little bit siguro.
Mga 7:15, ganyan. So basically, we are here to actually discuss some interesting topics na kung saan ay actually pinlano ko na ito na solo sana ako. Kaya nung nakita ko si Dream Sensei, sabi ko Dream Sensei, meron akong gustong i-discuss, pero siguro you can become a good resource guest speaker dito sa aking programa ngayong araw ito. Dahil marami ka na rin pinagdaanan.
Mababawasan ang laway na gagamitin mo.
Itong aking pag-uusapan
50%.
Hindi.
Dahil madaldal ako, siguro 30% lang.
No problem. Kaya bakit wala pa ako dito sa Our Very Good Life? Ano na lang, Richard, si Richard Sangwesa ay ating kasama rito. And of course, Reverend Reg Tan was your host in her program Goals with Reverend Reg. And she's still here. Baka mamaya, pag meron siyang, papahingayin muna natin kasi she had a 1-hour program all by herself. So, baka ubuhin ito pag isalang ko ulit ito.
Nakakaya naman time management, tapos ang topic.
Okay.
I-manage muna niya, i-halik muna niya.
Alright, so before we go, I'd like to say hi to some friends here.
Ayan, meron ka ng...
Meron tayo. Remo Moraleda from Baguio City is watching. Okay. Alright, mamaya, babasahin ko yung mga pangalan nyo. No? Sino ba ito?
Tato yung friend natin sa bahay. Greet mo rin si Roda.
Rora.
Nakalimutan na.
Rora. Si Rora.
Energy.
Okay. Kasi inisip ko yung isang Rora na kailangan.
Ang mga Roda kasi. When you're on the road, daka ng dog.
In terms of ito pagdating sa mga pangalan ni Kumisan, biglang I have to be sure as to we are talking about
The same
person. Kasi baka magkamali ako makulit ulit ako na, oops, sino yun?
kaya pala yung isang mong kaibigan, sabi sa akin, lahat daw ng nagiging girlfriend niya, tawag niya sweetheart.
Oo.
Sweetheart ng lahat. Para hindi ka mahuli.
Para hindi mahuli lahat na yan. Okay, so dito nga sa ating programang Feel Good with Tato ay nais kong pag-usapan ang aking isang importanteng topic na normally na pinag-uusapan na ever since. Kaya lang, ang problema ko rito is every time I talk about this, hindi ka agad naiintindihan ng karamihan. No? So I have to keep talking about it again and again. Kasi a lot of people still cannot get it in terms of how we are trying to explain this matter. No? And I am referring to the gift. Ano ito? The gift. Regalo. Ano ibig sabihin ng regalo? The gift.
Tato yung pang regalo na yung natatanggap sa Pasko?
Hindi lang sa Pasko.
Hindi lang sa Pasko. Birthday.
Birthday. Mas natatanggap during the birthday.
Sa birthday.
Mas mas importante maintindihan natin na itong
sa 10th anniversary.
Natadala.
Wedding anniversary. The gift?
The gift. Okay. Ano itong gift na ating tinutukoy dito? Okay. Ang aking importanteng gustong palaging pag-usapan dito sa program, Feel Good with Tato, is basically what
Ganito ba lang, Tato?
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Ito ba
Pakita
yun?
natin doon sa camera natin. Yan,
Gift.
the gift. Yan.
Gift pa yan.
Okay, yan, the gift. Regalo.
Sige, regalo.
Balita ko.
Ako ay tayo ko nang re-regaluhan.
Okay, anyway. So, tama na. Ano ba ito? I'm trying to fix something here and hindi ko pa rin nagawa ng tama. Alright, so balik na naman tayo.
What is the gift of the moment?
Yeah, the gift I'm referring to is something that is so important in our life in terms of discovering it and developing it as well. Kasi pag hindi mo na-develop ito, hindi mo na-discover, hindi mo ma-share, hindi mo mabibigay, hindi mo mairegalo sa iba. And what is this gift that I'm talking about? Okay. Well,
So is you referring to some talents?
okay.
Well, probably treasures that you have?
Yeah, okay.
Because
That's a good start.
you are giving this to others. Sabi mo,
That's a
hindi
good-
mo sa iba, di ba?
That's a good start.
So, about talents or about
Ano ba
treasures?
ng pag sinabi natin talent? Is it something na we have to be able to find out exactly what we have in terms of our talent? Yes. Alright. Ano ang ibig sabihin nito? We were given a gift. Okay, ito na naman ako. Gift, regalo. Lahat tayo, may kanya-kanya tayong gift, hindi pare-pareho. Okay? Ang dating kasi ng pag sinabing gift is parang, ano ba yan? Meron ba yung kailangan kong bilhin? O kailangan ko bang manahin? O kailangan ko bang matanggap?
So, Tato, you're saying, hindi lang ito yung parang nag-keep wrapper na nakakao na binigay
Yes.
kaya tinatanggap.
You have to receive it. Basically, you have to receive it because you have to acknowledge it as well.
So parang when you have to receive it, parang parang may transmittal receipt.
Oo, kumbaga,
Kung hindi mo i-acknowledge na,
Oo,
para
kasi-
sa ito, pwedeng
marami sa atin hindi na re-receive dahil hindi nila alam na
Oo.
nasa nandiyan na yung regalo.
so po pwedeng return to sender.
Oo,
Kung
may
galing
regalo
mang
na.
kay God yun, kung galing kung kanino.
Okay, you mentioned God. Okay, the source. Yes, we have this gift from God. Or if you believe in God. If you don't believe in God, you have
If you
this gift
believe
from
in the source,
the source.
if you believe in the Almighty,
O hindi, the universe, or whatever.
Providence.
Wala tayong ano dito kasi we are anong tawag dito? Sharing this to all religions, all traditions. Wala tayong specific na ito lang. So, we don't confine our discussions into being more specific about something. So, ito open sa lahat. So, we're general in terms of this particular topic that we're discussing. So, this gift, ano ba itong gift na ito? Is it talent? Yun na, sabi mo. Alright. In a way, yes. Alright? Yan ang kailangan natin ma-discover. Kung may talent tayo. But more than just talent, it is basically, alright, knowing who we are. So, if I mention that thing, knowing who we are, what is that gift that we can now imagine? Life. We were given life, okay? So basically, that's part of it.
Yung
Life.
iba, Tato, ang worry ko, kasi yung iba, they've spent a lot of time pero they don't know who they are pa rin.
Yun na nga. So, they don't know who they are. You are given a life. And what do you do with that life?
Oo.
Yan ang tanong eh.
So malaking premise yung know yourself.
Oo.
Kahit anong edad ka,
Oo.
know yourself.
Kasi, yun na nga eh. Lahat tayo nabuhay dito. Ano gagawin mo sa buhay na yan? So,
Kumain, maghanap
Oo,
buhay,
ayun
mag-asawa,
na.
magka-girlfriend,
Yun yung-
mag-Facebook,
yan yung original na palagi tinuturo sa atin. Mag-aaral ka, lumaki ka ng maayos, makapag-asawa ka, magtrabaho ka, then magkapamilya ka, and then, yun na.
magka-girlfriend ka ng marami
Alright.
para madiscover mo kung sino yung it.
Oh, okay.
Yung yung gift ng universe,
Oo.
yun ang soulmate. Di ba ganun yung
Dimension mo yung marami. Dapat marami talaga i-detail.
Si Tato nagsabi nun, di ako.
Hindi. Many of the things that we have learned in the past is that, especially pagdating sa babae,
Oo.
ang nangyayari dyan is, you fall in love with only one person. And yung person na yun, siya na yung panghabang buhay na sasabihin mong, siya na lang ang mamahalin ko.
That could be a gift.
First love, last love.
That could be a gift, di ba? Fidelity is a gift.
It is a gift if you are able to really know first who you are.
Oo nga.
Kasi kung hindi mo alam kung sino ka, yung gift na yan, pag dumating nga yung taong yan, hindi mo alam kung paano mo siya harapin, paano mo siya i-handle, paano ka magkakaroon ng relationship with that person. So still, it's about you. It's always about you.
Kaya you were saying parang this knowing the self, which is important to knowing your gift, has to do with the premise of whatever age you are in, whether you're a millennial, whether you're a teenager, whether you're elementary, whether midlife ka, whether senior ka na, if you know yourself, you could still discover your gift.
Exactly. And it is not just one gift. Kasi marami ito na akala mo isa lang. A lot of people think there is what they call destiny. Na ito na lang yung mangyayari sa buhay nila. They will just do one thing and forever, hanggang mamatay sila, yun lang ang ginawa nila. Well, kung masaya ka, why not? Kaso a lot of people, at the end of their life, at the end of their years, sabi nila parang kulang ang buhay, may kulang sa buhay ko. Hindi ko nagawa yung mga gusto kong gawin.
Well, talo na naman yung premise na know yourself. Kasi if you know yourself, hindi ka magkakagano.
Yun na nga. That's why nga. A lot of people kasi, they didn't get to know who they are.
Yes,
So basically, what happened to them was, they had this kind of life na, ito ang binigay sa akin ng Diyos, destiny ko na to.
Or you're saying, kung if you know yourself na masyado kang maraming interest, well, pwede namang you know yourself pero hindi marami kang interest, pwede rin yun.
Oo.
Basta discovering the self.
Oo, kaya lang, basta kailangan masaya ka. Kung isa lang yan, masaya ka ba doon? So, okay lang kung masaya ka. Kung hindi. At yun nga, parang, di ba yung
Ano yung definition ng masaya?
Yung actually put a ladder on a building and naakyat mo na yun. Tapos yung pala, it was a wrong building.
Well, this is what Joseph Campbell would be saying.
Diba?
In terms of career, you choose a particular path or life path, and you spend so many years, and then you found out when you got at the top, hindi pala ito.
Hindi pala ito.
So that's why he was saying, during those time, at this time in Joseph Campbell, which is, he talks about mythology, he was saying, not knowing the self.
Not knowing the self.
But he was also saying, discover your personal myth.
Yun.
And in order to discover your personal myth,
discover your personal myth. When you say myth, isabihin yan, invento.
hindi.
Or,
Hindi. Hindi.
okay.
Yun ang isang maling definition ng myth.
Sige.
Kasi,
okay, maganda yan.
because I'm also a mythologist,
Ayun na.
the age of Greek mythology.
Masyado kang, kabangha-bangha.
Masyadong naglalaro ang isip ko sa saan. But I know yun, pag sinabi kasi ni Joseph Campbell na know your personal myth or mythology, then you're answerable to your mythology.
Is that para fantasy?
Well, it's not a fantasy. For example, a lot of religious saints want to be a saint. That is their mythology, to be a saint. And then they become a saint. So in that sense, one is not just defined about ano yung gusto ng family nila, ano gusto ng society, anong gusto, kung kahit anong gusto nila. Pero ako, ang gusto ko maging santo eh. Yun ang tawag ni Carl Jung, individuation process. Na-discover mo yung sarili mo kung sino ka talaga at ito yung gusto mong maging.
Okay.
So
parang you want to become one particular role.
Oo. Or maybe it's not a role, it's a calling. It's a destiny. It's
a lot of times we play different roles.
A lot of roles.
A lot of roles. You can be a father, a brother,
Yes.
a boss in a company.
Yes.
So lahat yan, ginagampanan mo yan.
Well, and when the calling happens, when the gift is discovered, when the destiny is there, you leave your father even if they are sick. You leave your family even if they are naghihirap. You leave this all because it's part of your individuation process. Yun ang sabi ni Carl Jung.
Yeah.
Or because you spend a lot of time in society climbing up ang tawag nila, TATS, yung social mobility na pampataas na social mobility. So climbing up the ladder of success. Pero you discover pagdating doon, hindi pala ito ang gusto ko. So also, katulad ng pinag-usapan natin kanina, yung ibang mga artista, seryosong aktor, di ba? Pero hindi pala sila happy.
Yun naman.
Ang mag-happy pala sa kanila kung komedyante na sila, no?
That's true.
Oy, yung isang kaibigan na actor, sabi niya, masyado na akong naging identified sa career term na ito, hindi ko masasabi kung sino, pero pwede ko sabihin siguro.
Sino?
Si Kuya Boji Pascua. Sabi niya,
Si
palagi na actor si Kuya Boji.
Sa
Sesame Street. At PETA din siya. PETA din siya. Sabi ni Kuya Boji, ito ang problema dito sa karakter ng Kuya Boji na ito. Minsan nasa emergency room ako, meron pang hawak. Picture day. O kaya kumakain ako sa Jollibee ng children's party. Picture day.
That's the price you have to pay.
So, the idea is, umalis siya doon sa kanyang, tawag dito, box in. Box in na.
Pero matanggap mo yun eh.
Well, the idea is, sabi niya, the truth about him, kasi sabi mo, knowing thyself eh. Yung knowing thyself, he wants to be a rapist. Paano magiging rapist yung character niya, Kuya Boji? Paano magiging police yung...
Sinabi yan eh.
Yes.
Rapist.
To be an actor.
Be an actor.
Not to be
Para hindi identify sa isang role.
Kasi at some point in one slide, di ba, you become stuck. You become stuck about having a lot of money, you become stuck about being good. Iba yung image making doon sa you know who you are and you know what you want. And it's not just an image. You get out of your where you are stuck and then sabi nga natin, know your personal mythology.
Right.
Ang mythology, after that, nung na-resolve ni Kuya Boji yung issue niya mga ganon, may Andres Bonifacio na siyang play, meron na siyang may mga film na siyang awarded, yung sa buhay ni sino yun? Yung indie film? Yung gay...
General Lula.
Sorry. Ang buhay ni something. Napulis yung role niya doon, no? Nagkagusto sa kanya yung gay na bata na binatilyo. All those things. No? So, when you go back to the idea of knowing the self, kasi yung sabi nga natin, pag hindi niya alam yung gusto niyang mangyari o mythology, kasi yung mythology, it's like you're a star in your mythology. You are the one in your mythology. Kung ang mythology ng iba maging Darna, o maging Kidlat, o maging Jesus Christ, o maging anuman, yun ang mythology nila. Pero at some point, yung buhay nga takes over. And you find out, oops, hindi pala ako happy dito. Hindi pala meaningful.
That's true.
So, that's when the awareness of the self, meaning, meron naman tayong feeling meron tayong thinking, meron tayong kaibigan na nagbibigay ng feedback. Talking to them, we give us the opportunities where, baka mas mabuti ganito, subukan mo to. So, di ba, if you know yourself and you have the opportunity, you could try out a lot of things. So, sabi nga nila, the color of your parachute need to be technicolor. Hindi isang kulay lang ng parachute. Kasi, at pag hindi nag-open yung parachute mo na isa, babagsak ka,
kailangan may fallback ka.
May fallback ka. So, I think, yung sinasabi mo, Tats, yung yung when you know yourself, there's a lot of facet about who you are and what you are.
Exactly.
Sabi mo, hindi lang isa namang gift, ang dami.
Ang dami. Kaya you have to know exactly what will make you happy and what you really enjoy doing. Kasi maraming kang pipilian eh. Ang tanong dyan is, bakit gusto mong gawin yan? Bakit mo ginagawa yan? Bakit yan ang...
bakit ka ganyan?
Oo.
Pero kung bakit kaya mag-uusap tayo, Tato, pareho tayo binata, may edad na tayo. Gusto mo natin binata, tayong ganyan. Choice mo natin to o nangyari sa atin?
Choice. In a way, choice ako eh. Basically, runaway groom ako eh.
Is that part of the gift?
So I have to keep myself
Runaway groom,
in terms of, hindi. Na-discover ko lang yan. Kasi when I saw my personality,
yung part of your self-awareness.
Test na kung saan discover to that I couldn't commit to a one-on-one relationship.
The flying boy.
Kaya palagi ako runaway groom. Kasi ilang beses ako, gusto ko naman pakasal eh. Kaya last minute, kina-cancel ko eh.
Last minute?
Oo. Doon na yung nag-usap na yung pamilya, ganyan. Nag-usap na yung kulang na lang yung invitations to be sent out.
Mas grabe ako, Tats.
Oo.
Ako, ang kabahan ako nung papatayan ako ng kamag-anak eh. Kasi nandoon na yung sing-sing tsaka yung invitasyon eh.
Ako, di pa ako magastos naman. Tatakbuhan ko pa.
Nasaktayan mo ba yung kabayo sa parang runway bride? Tinakbuhan.
Okay.
How do we put that as part of the gift? Kasi whoever you are right now could be also part of the gift.
Okay. Right now, okay. I did a lot of things. I'll give naman myself as an example. I wanted to be an actor, so I became an actor. I wanted to be a singer. I wanted to join the band. I wanted to be a teacher. I became a teacher. I wanted to be an author. I became a book author. Kumbaga, lahat nagawa ko. I wanted to have girlfriends, and I had a lot of them. Okay.
Kaya nandun
Ghosting!
And gusto ko ba mag-asawa? Yes, I wanted to get married, but that particular portion in terms of getting married, para bang at that point na kung saan malapit na, doon ako nagkaroon ng parang, hindi naman ako naging hesitant, but there was this parang, parang may pumipigil sa akin. Okay, so sabi ko, bakit gano'n? Bakit parang I cannot pursue that direction, no? Of being, committed to a person, to one person. And then, I tried again. So sabi ko, siguro yung isa, hindi nga totoong hindi nagkatuluyan. Ito na. Imagine 4 times I attempted to get married. Lahat yan 4
times?
4 times.
As in 4?
Serious, oo.
Serious yun?
Kasi ibig sabihin, hindi ako yung walang plano talaga na mag-seryoso. So, sabihin kung pinaplano mo magpakasal, sabihin seryoso ka sa relationship.
Pero in all that 4, Tato, hindi ka pa gumagastos doon nung nakaka-back out ka.
Anong
pattern yun, ha?
Sabihin, ang hindi ko ginagastos, wala pa akong singsing.
Wala pang sigsing.
Yun lang naman ang ibig sabihin sa gastos eh. Kasi hindi ba nakakabili, pero malapit na.
Pero yung invitasyon, nandun doon na.
Well, pinaplano, pero ibig sabihin, hindi pa rin,
Yung marahi di boda.
wala pa, hindi umabot sa damit, hindi umabot sa ano.
Hindi pa umabot doon sa, ano ito, paket, papanununin.
The closest I was able to really get to being married was when we were in Las Vegas, yung girlfriend ko. We parked our car, yung car na nirent out ko sa LA. Hindi na, imagine na, mag-rent ako ng car sa LA, supposed to be for LA use na, dinala ko sa Las Vegas.
Baka part of your plan yun, subconscious plan. Kasi pagdating mo sa Las Vegas, magpapakasal kayo kay Elvis Presley.
Kaya na nga, exactly yun. Ito, nag-park na kami sa isang chapel. Papakasal na talaga kami. We were thinking of really getting married in Las Vegas ng girlfriend ko. May lumabas na Elvis Presley na impersonator. Yung ba magkakasal sa atin? Sa Pilipinas na tayo magpakasal. So, it was called off. Pero kung wala at pumasok kami sa loob, baka nag-register na kami at you might have just gotten married at that particular
By
time.
Elvis Presley.
By Elvis.
Costume. Character ni Elvis Presley.
Hindi nagulat ako ng bakit. Si Elvis ba magkakasal sa atin?
Well, in that sense, if you, part of your knowing yourself, di ba, you are different from those other celebrities in the Philippines who will go there na magpapakasal kay Elvis Presley.
Kaso na, I was really looking for a real pastor or yun ang magkakasal. No? Pero hindi yung parang lokohan na magpapakasal na rin ako.
May license na ako.
Ha?
May license ako for getting your...
Sige, pagkala kong...
Huwag mo kami ikasal, ha? Huwag mo kami ikasal.
Pagkala kong ano ko sa'yo, na-notify kita. Alright, what I'm saying here now is, okay, eto ngayon, marami tayong mga plano. Alright. So, ang dami kong plans. I'm still talking about myself.
Yeah, and let us go to the point where you have discovered your gifts, no?
Ito na yan eh.
And if single goes it away or not, no?
Ito na parang, yung parang calling ko, would demand my full attention to it. So sabi ko nga, siguro ito na ngayon eh. If I got married and had a family, I might not be able to do what I will be doing. in terms of itong gift na, kasi, alright, I had a lot of gifts, but then again, sabi nga, the ultimate gift that I can now see in terms of that I'm receiving, or I had received, was something that would demand basically my fullest focus or attention. So, sabi ko siguro, ito na yung reason bakit talagang I cannot see myself having a family, because I'll be moving around, traveling a lot, and not earning that big money to support a family. Parang excuse, no? Parang huwag ka na magtrabaho ng maghanap ng malaking sweldo para wala ka na masusuportahan sa sarili mo lang. But basically, I worked. I had retired. I had the kind of retirement I'm actually enjoying at this point in time now. I don't need anything anymore. But still, ito na nga yung ultimate gift that came about. It was a discovery later on, after exploring all the other gifts. So kaya sabi ko, hindi ito isa lang. Kailangan maano mo muna yung ibang gifts mo until you'll be able to really now see.
Sa conventional career counseling, ang tawag nila yan yung pinaka-value mo.
Value, what do you really value in terms of Of course, I valued everything.
Pero sinasabi na kung in terms of hierarchy of values, ito yung pinakamataas mong value, at kung ito yung pinakamataas mong value, ito yung binibigyan mo ng oras, at binibigyan mo ng maraming pera. So, the value indicators are the time you spend to it and the money you spend for it. Because, di ba, if this is what you value, you spend money on it. Hindi lang yung pamilya, you spend value.
But basically, ito nga, this thing that I am now going to do would demand millions of pesos or dollars for that matter to be able to do everything that I am now supposed to be doing because of this gift that I am now exploring.
Well, what I meant by put money tsaka time, I do not mean in ordinary career guidance na future. It means so far, no?
So far.
Kasi you spend time there. You act on it, hindi lang ito ini-imagine. Talagang ginagawa mo.
Ginagawa talaga. So, ito na yung point na kung saan ay, alright, so that explains practically everything that I am now, why I'm into this kind of thing.
And if you will name this kind of thing that you're in, then the future is, the hope is, it will give you money pa.
Actually, I need a lot of money to be able to do this, and of course, it will also give.
Pero what I meant is, I want to clarify that. You're already doing it, di ba?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I'm doing it on my own first, but basically people are being supportive of what I'm doing. So, sabi ko, okay, mag-usap-usap na tayo talaga na in terms of yung talagang massive campaign into this kind of a project. And hindi ko na kayang mag-isa ito.
Well, if you're talking about a gift or a value, iba pa yung we talk about a business.
Well, let's put it this way. Doon ko na nakita yung gift ko in terms of doing all these things. All right. What I'm saying here is, when I realized that parang this is what I came here for in this lifetime. Kumbaga, ito yung realization mo. Ito yung ultimate gift. And the gift is basically, it's you.
Kaya nga. And whatever you are, does not really necessarily require money. But you, because you have money, or you have time,
or you have the resources from, you can get resources from everyone, from people.
Yun ang nagiging value indicator talaga. Pinapahalagan mo, you give time, you give your money, you talk to people about it, you advocate it. Yun ang sinasabi mo kasi as a value, hindi mo i-act out, no?
Yeah. So, ito ang pinag-usapan natin. Have you discovered your gifts? And what are your gifts? Iba-iba tayo, ha? I'm
And
not
how
saying...
do you discover your gift, no?
Yeah. So, marami sa atin, maraming sinasabi na marami pa gusto gawin, but why are you not doing it?
Does it happen, Tato, na in your gift, you discovered it because of trial and error?
Well, lahat yan, oo. It was trial and error, it was, kumbaga parang, I would do it, tapos I would let it go, kasi parang hindi naman yata ito.
Hindi yung wala kang episode sa buhay mo na parang kinausap ka ng Diyos. Na
Well,
nagkinig ka. o kaya
let's put it in its proper context. No? Kasi, alright, when you actually think of these things, basically, you cannot just think it over na madalian lang eh. You have to meditate on it. You have to really be alone most of the time, thinking, kumbaga, ano ba ang gagawin ko?
Then you look for signs. Binabalidate ba yung signs na yan?
Alright. So, yung sasabihin mong, kinausap ba ako ng Diyos? Yes, I would say, kinausap ako. How? Through my intuition. I mean, I get voice, I hear messages, maybe not in terms of real words or real voice talaga na who's saying something, but the ideas would just, or the inspiration would just come. So parang, from that, doon mo na i-form yung interpretation mo as to what you heard.
So parang I heard a call.
Parang,
if you build it, he will come.
So, ang talungan dyan is, I got them na ito na yun. Hindi ko na nahiwalayan.
But of course, part of that, like if the model is if you build it, he will come, the fields of dreams, you take action on it.
Yeah, okay. Ito na,
What first step did you do to validate?
First step talaga is, alright, being aware of who we are. And then, the moment you are, you know who you are, the next step is receptivity. Have you received your gift? Because of you already knowing who you are. Kasi kung sportsman ka, athletic ka, ang gift mo is, your body, your strength. So, ang tanong dyan is, tatanggapin mo ba na you will become a basketball player, or a volleyball player, or whatever sports.
Tapos huwag mong tanggapin pagka 40 years old ka na, hindi na pwede.
Pwede pa rin.
40 years old? Realistically, hindi na kaya
Ibang sport, golf.
Bodybuilding, 8 years old, pwede.
Lahat yan.
Parang kasi, pag may calling ka, alam mo yung awareness, parang some of it involves some kind of time frame. Di ba?
Well, let's not anymore say na meron talagang time frame ito. Kasi,
I saw yung Tato kasi sinabi mo kung athletic eh. Kung athletic, di ba? Nag-retire na at particular age.
malay mo biglang, kasi ako nga ngayon, pinapanood ko yung American Ninja ba sa TV. Talaga nakikita ko how they are able to use their bodies in terms of doing things na parang imposible, pero nagagawa nila. So sabi ko, if they are now able to do the impossible, so sabihin, wala na imposible eh. So, nakita na natin eh, nagagawa na eh. So, and basically, it's all, hindi ito physical na lang eh. It's all, I would say, energy in terms of our entire,
Part of our being, no? Yung
beingness,
energy,
yung being natin.
Of course, I understand. Nag-aikido ako eh. Pero minsan meron like, I am 60 now, no? 61.
Kasi, okay.
But I cannot really teach for long.
Kasi, okay, ito. You can, for example, get into that kind of an interest, no? At that particular age, at 40. And somehow, you want to know exactly the rudiments of the sport. And so, you take active participation in it. So, you play, you get the feel, and then later on, you don't end up as a player.
Pero di ba?
You end up as maybe a coach. Pwede ka mag-ano. Kasi at least, sabi mo, na-experience ko ito.
Kasi I'm just trying to be grounded and practical. When you talk about, siguro could change what could be yung gift mo. Kasi kung athleticism, I agree with golf. No? Even kaya lang the golf is not for all. Kasi mas maraming pera kailangan sa golf.
Alright, we're just giving examples. But what I'm trying to say here is, have you received
The
your
calling mo.
your inspiration?
You were saying yung
Kasi yun yung, people always say, I don't know who I am, I don't know what I want. That's their main, I would say. Siguro si Reverend Reg could participate here kasi marami na rin siyang ano rito mabibigay na ano rito. So, pull a chair and fit in and or somehow dito kasi kitna namin. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know how you will fit into sa isang kwarto. Kung dito sana sa kita, wala itong table na ito, adjust. Pwede ka adjust sa likod namin.
Okay.
And, share na maliit na yun. Right, sige, you can. So, para mabigyan natin ng different dimensions itong pinag-uusapan natin. Kasi maganda itong pag-usapan kasi a lot of people always say, I don't know who I am, I don't know what I want. Tapos, ang dami nating sinasabing reklamo na wala nangyayari sa buhay natin.
Yes.
Kasi nga, well, wala tayong ginagawa.
Yes.
So, yan. Okay, we'd like to welcome Reverend Reg Tan here.
Hi,
And
everyone.
Tato, of course, she's a regular here at Wow Very Good Life. She came kanina at 5 o'clock and now she's with us.
Yes.
Kasi alam mo dito. Okay. Alright, so, sige. I have something ready to say.
If I remember what you said correctly, you mentioned that sometimes you're not doing anything and expect mo that something will happen.
Yun ang mga parang naghihintay na ng kwan sabi nga destiny nila.
Yes.
So wala silang gagawin, maghihintay lang.
Yes.
Hindi ganun eh.
Yes, and actually, I want to give dalawang perspective about it because in studying the lives of people who really made breakthroughs, like J.K. Rowling, one of the best examples.
Okay, ka-birthday ko.
Wow. So you're the next
Ikot na
one.
ikot, kasi rolling na.
Yes.
Harry Potter.
Nag-roll yung billions of dollars niya. And it's a very interesting story because she's a single mom.
And she
Before
finished
she
the
was-
story in a coffee shop.
Yes. And then she was having a lot of soul-stretching experiences.
Ano ba yung soul-stretching experiences? Ano yung
This is
soul-stretching?
what we call yung challenges or pagsubok sa buhay. And dito po si Sensei, no?
Kasi dito sa...
Alright. So anyway, when we say we're faced with challenges, in our perspective sa amin nila Tato, we call it soul-stretching experiences. Yung parang pinipigya ka dun ng life mo to use all your connection to God within you, to get you out of the situation, and to the universal presence of God.
Pagka soul-searching, soul-stretching ba, Reverend Reg, kasama ba dun yung idea na single mother ka, meron kang babying pinapakain, tapos ginagawa mo yung storya mo sa isang coffee shop?
Yes,
Maliit lang yung budget mo?
Yes, so that's exactly what happened to J.K. Rowling. Thank you for clarifying that, Sensei. No? It's amazing because I want to share with everyone, before she even had an idea to write a story, she was actually doing a lot of humanitarian work. So she was being of service to the community. Now, one of the things that I learned in University of Metaphysics and from Dr. Paul Leon Masters, the founder of University of Metaphysics, he was saying, if a person is doing a lot of good, or doing a lot of good deeds, it's just a matter of time for you to get that one idea. And, you know, it's so amazing because God loves us so much. All of us have unique qualities. What is unique to Tato is siya lang yung meron nun. And ako, what's unique to me, ako lang din yung meron nun. What's unique to Sensei, siya lang din yung meron nun. And lahat ng nanonood nito, you all have something unique to share to the universe. And Dr. Paul Leon Masters was saying, lalo na yung lecture niya nung Sunday, sabi niya, no matter how difficult you think your life is at the moment, you have to pray to God. You have to commune with God's presence within you so you can ask, God, what is that one idea that will change my entire life?
Alright.
Well, so in terms of Tato, sabi niya, nadinig niya by his intuition ng Word of God.
Yes, the still small voice of the God within you.
Kasi sabi nga
Sa meditation.
did that talk to you? Yeah.
Yes.
But it was not as, what we would expect na may nagsalita, may malaking boses na, gawin mo. It was not like that. It was more of parang, it was kind of vague, but basically, parang, it was a block of ideas na pinagsama-sama. Tapos parang, I would just feel it na,
Yes.
ito yun.
Yes.
So, you don't actually hear words.
Yes.
So,
Parang there's a sensing. As you
Yes.
said, intuitive.
Yes, and it can come differently for everyone. Dr. Yolanda Lux, another metaphysician, who's also my schoolmate, she wrote a book called The Quiet Mind. And part of that quiet mind statement, she was saying, the universe, God, higher consciousness, doesn't give us cryptic messages. Meaning, it talks to us in such a manner that we can thoroughly understand whatever your language is. So for Tato, what was it, a still small voice?
well, it wasn't a voice, it's more of feeling.
Feeling for Tato. So how about you, Sensei?
It's all of the above.
Kasama na yun. Actually, kasama na yun.
I am into games.
Yes.
I am into mythology. I am
Yes.
into Aikido, which is physical.
Yes.
I am into education. I am into
Yes.
reading books. And the book sometimes would really validate all of this intuition, all of that. So, and I am with friends.
Yes.
So, kung minsan, sabi nga ni Carl Jung invoke or not invoke, God is there.
Yes, and I like to add to what Sensei said and what Tato said, because the message of the universe can come differently for everyone.
Yeah.
And if you want to be clarified, one of the things that you need to know is how to ask for signs. In fact, dun sa book, she was saying, you have to ask deliberately, God, show me if this is really your will for me, give me a sign. So ako, ginawa ko yung sinabi niya. And one of the things that I asked last week, God, I'm about to make a decision. If I look back, and if there's something red, then I know I should go with my decision. If there's a green, I know I should do something else. You know, it's so funny because when I look back, may color red. Eh, syempre, inisip ko pa talaga, God, message mo ba talaga yun for me? Because sometimes, if you really need to be validated, you have to keep asking until you feel the certainty.
Or when you have doubts pa.
Yes. So, I went to another store, and nagulat ako, pagtingin ko dun sa store, meron na naman color red.
Okay.
You see, this is what we're seeing,
So,
the God
yeah,
answers right away.
Style or clicks or whatever.
Yes.
So yeah, okay. Now, all right. So we are now getting the message, all right, from somewhere, and somehow we have accepted ito na yung gift na ito. The next step, kasi first step was, were you able to know who you are, and then second was, since you're knowing already who you are you receiving something, or have you received it already? And somehow when you have received the gift, in terms of acknowledging it, the third step is basically what is your action, or what will your activities become in terms of how you're going to proceed
Yes.
making this
How
happen.
do you actualize your dream? How do you actualize your intuition? How do you actualize
What are your moves?
this inspiration?
Yes.
Right, so basically you start somewhere. And then,
Yes.
a lot of times, people don't get to start anything. Nandun na sila sa, this is my dream, this is my destiny, and just talk about it. And don't do anything about it. Kaya na ako, dito sa aking ginagawa palagi is, if you cannot still do whatever you want to do, you have your dreams, but you don't know exactly how to proceed in terms of what you want to do. Let us know, call us up, because that's what we are here for. Like in the program of Reg, yung goals na is basically, ako rin, like, I would actually guide you in terms of how you can proceed in
What to do next.
in doing whatever you're supposed to do.
And I want to add to what Tato said, because one of the best things that he has demonstrated in his life, and even with Sensei, they were constantly developing their talents, their skill sets. And it's very important because one of the things that I learned from Jeff Bezos, the founder of Apple.
Bezos, up to now, I'm still reading about kissing, you know, the techniques about kissing. I'm really very good.
Bezos.
Okay,
So actually, the reason why I stay in this is because
do you know there's such a thing as electric kiss in a...
I just know French.
Masyado ka na naging technical sa ano.
Nakikinig ako dun sa Bezos.
Mukha may kulang ka sa actual eh.
Kasi the last week, kinis ako ni Reverend Reg, ngayon hindi eh.
Gano'n?
So I just connected. Huwag mo na alamin. Baka hindi ka pa.
So anyway, Jeff Bezos was saying, whatever industry that you really want to be good at, just be good at it. Because sooner or later, you cannot stop evolution. Something is going to happen. So whatever it is that you're good at doing, because you have so much value in that industry, you will be needed. In fact, I want to share last one before Tato would share something else. Jordan Ellenberg, he's the author of How Not to Be Wrong, and is also one of the favorite authors of Bill Gates. He was so good in mathematics, and he was sharing that in his research, there's a very good mathematician na sa sobrang galing niya, even during the World War, he had an opportunity to be pulled out of the war-torn area para lang so that someone or a company will be able to use his genius in that field. So it's very important talaga na pinagayaman mo yung talents mo and yung skills mo.
Yeah. Okay. Well, since you have already realized what you want to become or to do, what is important is, eto na yan eh. When you take action, you have to really know exactly the kind of skill that you would need to develop. And when you develop a skill or a talent, you need to have discipline.
Yes.
Doon na nagkaka-problema a lot of people.
Yes.
At first, akala nila, ay maganda ito, tapos biglang, ay mahirap pala. Ay, okay. Alright. Kung mahirap, baby, it's not yours. Or kung saan, dapat nga, hindi naman ito talaga effortless eh. Meron ka rin effort. Kaya lang, pag gusto mo talaga isang bagay, you will not stop.
Kailangan mo ng investing time, investing effort, investing your spirit.
You're right. So basically, this is something that you have to take a look into now. What will you focus on and how much time will you give it para ma-develop mo yung gift na yan? Kasi hindi pwedeng aandar rin yung gift na yan na wala kang ginagawa eh.
Yes.
Maybe if you are, Tato, parang determined or quite a little bit, let's say from the scale of 1 to 10, and you're number 8 na medyo sure ka na, yun yung calling mo, don't get frustrated.
Tsaka wala na. Kumbaga, kung ito, among all the things that you've tried in the past, and somehow ito na yung parang you found the ano talaga, yung masasabi mong the dream, the ultimate.
Parang kanta ni Barbara Streisand, di ba? I finally found someone. Ganun, di ba?
Yung parang pinaka-importante.
May background.
I finally found someone. Kanina, nandun pa tayo sa dito ba? Ba yun eh. Kaya
ito na. So, ito na yun. Importante is to develop it and have that kind of focus. Kasi, hindi pa konsepto na sa pwede na. Pero yung, you want to be a superstar, you have to really become more than whatever is required from you in terms of what you can give.
And not everybody becomes a superstar.
Well, let's put it this way, kaya may superstar. Kaya,
Not everybody.
Not everybody. Kaya,
Some other could be a caricature.
kasi kung superstar, wala superstar.
Magkakaroon ng megastar.
Meron star.
Meron diamond star.
Kaya magkakanya na sila.
Platinum star. Yes. Mag-Starbucks na lang tayo.
Alright.
Tato, what is the other challenge of you if you are now actualizing or you have actually actualized the gift?
Ito na nga eh. Not everyone would actually give you that kind of support. So baka akala mo sabi mo lahat ng tao makakita sa iyo pag ginagawa mo na to would actually be happy for you.
Parang biblically,
Nobody
not supported
is
in their own
supposed
country.
to make you happy except yourself.
Yes.
Wala kang pakialam kung ayaw nila, pasensya sila, ito ang gusto kong gawin. Wala akong papakinggan ko hindi sarili ko. Ito lang yung aking magagawa ko sa buhay ko na masasabi kong panahon na. Kaya wala kayong pakialam sa akin. Yeah.
Yes. Actually, Tato, I also like the affirmations I learned from Catherine Ponder. Because she gave us a lot of affirmations that will help you get away from a non-supportive environment. So, if you find yourself in an environment wherein people are doubting you or mocking you, we have an affirmation for that. I bless and release you to your highest good and your greatest joy. You also bless and release me to my highest good and my greatest joy. And I am now surrounded by loving and charming people who lovingly help me in
Ako
every
yung
way.
charming isa doon. Meron din akong affirmation.
Ano yun?
Leo Valdez. Magsimula ka, tuklasin ang pangarap ng tunay.
Tama.
Diba? Si Basil Valdez meron din. Ngayon ang simula ng tunay ng buhay.
Yes.
Diba?
Si Basil
Basil
pala.
Valdez
Yes.
yun.
Nasa parang Valdez
Oo, sa Basil.
Pero just to share, thank you for sharing that sensei. Susubukan ko siya bukas.
Alin? Yung
Yung mga
magsimula
affirmation.
ka, tuklasin ang pangarap ng tunay.
So,
Habang
Mabilis pa tayo.
wakas, habang ang lakas, yung pang tagline. Oh, yun. It's a simple, by the way, in my program before na almost 30 years, yun ang flagship song ko, Magsimula Ka.
Magsimula
Yes.
ka.
Because ako, in the music industry, it is the one who had the 10 perfect score for composer and the 10 perfect score for the interpreter in the Tokyo Music Festival.
Wow.
Yun ang unang nanalo ng Metro Pop ba yun?
Metro Pop.
Magsimula
Hindi,
ka.
ang una nanalo si Ryan Keviab.
Yung kay ganda ng ating musika.
So speaking of Ryan Keviab, I learned from Mandy Ferrer. Hello, Mandy. He edited my video and he also does work with Lea Salonga and with Tato Malay. So Mandy was sharing that Ryan Keviab was so good at what he was doing. I'm not sure if he finished college, but Mandy said
No, he did.
He did UP.
Actually, okay.
UP,
Ang ko niya, he was going to take up accounting. He wanted, kasi wala siyang pera pang conservatory of music
yes.
Ang tumulong sa kanya was the father of Cocoy Laurel, Salvador Laurel, Vice President then. Sabi niya, you're in the wrong path, wrong direction. I want you to take up music.
Wow.
So in that case, like Tato Malay, some people have an ear where your talents are.
Binigyan siya ng scholarship. That's why he was
Sa
able
UP.
to finish sa UP ng conservatory.
It's so important for you to really vibrate how clear your intention is to the
Pero
universe.
wala siyang plano talaga doon. Alam niya na gusto niya, kaya lang wala siya lang pera. Kasi, the brother of Ryan was my classmate in UP Elementary. And their mother died early. So the father even told Ryan, never get into music. If there is something that you will do, basta wag lang music.
Siguro na yung nanay niya, na dinig na yung musicality niya, pero sabi ng nanay niya, walang pera dyan anak, wag kang
Yeah.
Hindi, kaya nga,
Kaya may malaking black yun. Malaking black yun.
Ryan grew up talaga not concentrating on his music, but he knew for a fact that he was good at it. Until it was Cocoy Laurel who said,
Parang you need a higher voice to overpower a higher voice of your mother, di ba?
Yes.
Kasi higher voice yung
imagine if your father had told you already that thing,
Yeah.
so talagang wala kang choice.
And a lot of people I know in my counseling work, they become doctors because sinabi nung tatay, gusto kitang maging doktor. At nung practicum nila sa isang ospital, nakamatay ng bata because they're just doing what the other father did. Sabi ng tatay, maging doktor ka. So, maraming voices
Yes.
But minsan rin yung pakinggan, ano ba yung boses na yun?
Bigla ko na naalala, biglang suddenly I went back to my UP elementary days. Kasi noon, kaklase ko nga yung older brother ni Ryan. I think 3 or 4 years older yung brother to Ryan. So si Ryan was a lot younger than us. Pero someone who was at our same year or higher pa was Snaf Rigor.
Sa Malay.
And Spanky Rigor.
Sa Malay.
So basically lahat kami sa UP noon got into this kind of music.
Kasama-sama pala kayo dun eh. No?
Bata pa kami noon. But sila Snafu noon, Snafu would bring his drum set sa school. The drum set paghapon, doon ko practice sa...
Drum set? So meron siyang malaking sasakyan?
So, ano tawag ito? Yun, naging drummer nga siya. After college, naging, part of yung Cinderella Band. I mean, siya yung composer ng Bato sa Buhangin and Bulag Pipi at Bingi. So, he was
Bulag
successful.
Pipi at Bingi, hindi pa si Dalmang del Rosario.
Hindi, Bulag Pipi at Bingi, si Freddy Aguilera Comontalon. Ang composer doon si Snaf Rigor. Ang kuwan mo is Sinong Baliw.
Sinong Baliw,
Yan si Monte Rosario.
Oh, yes, correct. I stand
Anyway, so, again, as I've said, we have our gifts. But you can only discover that if you will know first who you are. Hindi pwedeng sabihin mo na gusto ko yung ginagawa niya.
Or as we have discussing here, you cannot be defined by other people, even by your parents.
O kaya yung makita mo, ay gusto ko maging katulad niya. Okay, yes, you can be inspired by other people, yung success of others. Like for example, ang daming gusto mag-artista dahil akala nila masarap maging sikat at akala nila madaling sumikat.
O kasi lahat gusto maging nurse.
So,
lahat
tulad ko,
gusto
I wanted to be an actor. But there was something that I was not able to do perfectly. That's why I was never I was never good in acting in terms of succeeding in it. But I was able to do it, pero I had to struggle. And what was that? I cannot memorize. I didn't know how to memorize long lines. So
it becomes a weak.
Even short lines nga, nakakalimutan ko pa. So,
parang ang tawag doon, di ba, Tato, ang tawag doon yung parang, yun yung that disqualifies you from what is needed to be an actor.
Yeah.
So if you want to be an actor, you have to be good in memory work. Kasi you have to memorize lines. Even when you want to be if you want to be a singer, memory pa rin yan kasi you have to memorize the words and the tunes.
Pero yung iba nga, di ba, kung kailangan talaga, they sacrifice. Di ba? Ngayon, mga memory school na. Pero let me point this out kasi yung iba nga nadi-discourage. Ako binibigay ko yung example sa mga Johari window. Like the fourth part is the undiscovered
The unknown.
Yung the unknown. Sabi nila, imposibleng maging singer ang isang oo. Si Johnny, tangay ni Babos. Dati, alam natin, assistant ni Johnny De Leon ba yun or something, si Mongo. Meron pang kantang record na per shells nung araw eh, di ba? Si Mongo ko eh. Sabi ko, wow, this is out of the box.
Talking about Johnny De Leon. Marami hindi nakakilala kay Johnny De Leon. Johnny De Leon was one of the #1 announcers, radio announcers dito sa Philippines. Omo was part of his staff.
Wow.
One particular staff that he had, na parang PA niya noon, na siya lang yung talagang taga-play ng commercials, na tsaka yung
kasi po si Johnny De Leon, ang programa niya, mag-Angelus. Bago mag-Angelus.
Alam ko sino yung guy na yun, na staff na?
Ikaw ba yun, Tato? Ikaw ba yun? Hindi ka.
Noli De Castro.
Si Noli De Castro.
He started sa ganun lang. Kaya every time si Noli would come to my office to actually ask for records, pag nabibigyan ko siya yung mga 45, sige, tuntuhan na yan.
Wow.
Magagamitan niya. Kasi meron siyang programa every Saturday, na talent show, pinabibigay niya as prizes.
Yung record, 45. Yung hindi po nakakalam, yung 45 po, parang this yun, 18.
Ito yung maliit lang, may side A, side B, tutugtog sa photograph.
Siguro magdala ka dito na sample, isa makita nila yung visual, kasi hindi nila alam yun.
Wala na rin, yun, in terms of,
may kwento.
I can bumabalik ko naman. But anyway, wala tayo oras, 12 minutes pa tayo. Tapos na.
Okay.
Nakatong na sa ito. But anyway, so with that, siguro ay maganda na yung ating na-invite sa ating mga tagapakinig. As what I really wanted to do was to get also the opinions and views of my co-hosts, not co-hosts, but my co-anchors here in terms of their own respective programs here at One Very Good Life. Si Lucito, Sensei, and of course Reverend Reg. So, with that, I'd like to say thank you to all those who watched us. At si Lance Edward, of course. Si Lance, hi Lance, at sino pa ito isa? Si Jonjo Trinidad, okay, si Jonjo. Oh. At marami sa Facebook Live na nanood at hindi ko na malaman kung paano ko babasahin yung panyo dahil ayaw lumabas yung mga names sa
Doon siguro, Tato, doon
sa hindi, kasi ayan, nandito pala, ayan. So, I'd like to say hi, thank you to Gilbert Nograles, si Roda Ann Guzman, Roda Ann de Guzman also watched us. Si Katrina Vilorio, okay, I can't read most of your names, but anyway, so, okay, naku, hindi ko, pag minimove ko, ayaw, Nestor Lee, si Nestor Lee, ito yung manager ng Sex Bomb Girls, dancers.
Pwede bang makadobate sila?
Okay. Sino pa ba? Alright, ano ba nangyayari dito? Si Sarines, the Sarines family, yes. Tina Arceo, Dumlao, okay. Evelyn Paulino, dati kong kwan sa Merinol. Hoy, nginig, si Obet, okay. And sino ba? Marami. Joyce Molon, my co-host dati sa DW.
Hello, Joyce.
Sa programa ko. Okay, Gerard.
Si Joyce, ka-birthday nung dati kong
Reyes. Hello.
Makasingit lang.
And of course. And si Lolita Villanueva Gibbon. Okay, sino pa ba? Nakunin ko na nga.
Ina-acknowledge po ni Tato, Malay, ang mga respond sa Facebook account. At marami.
Karima. Si Princess Karima. Hindi pala. Karima tayo. Gerald Grana, good evening, Ninong Tato. So glad to catch your program once again. Your
Si
teachings
Gerard.
continue to inspire and make people happy. Thank you.
Nice.
Nice, alright. So, Ver Morales is watching. Alright, sino ba? Macy De Leon, Gaudo. Alright, Ricky Dizon, yung DJ dati. Marcel Paris, alright. Ramon Emily Rodriguez, ito mga kamag-anak. Vicky Barrios, hello. Napoleon
Ricky
Vecchia.
Barrios.
Fuentes Vallejos, Raman is watching also. Trisha Tanchoco, Bontongon, okay. Boss Rudo, okay la. Itong aking kaibigan, di pa mag-guest dito. One time mag-guest ka rito, Bob Bimbo, ha. Mary Ann Dorilag is watching also from Zamboanga. Ricky Davao is watching. Artista si Ricky.
Ricky, kung meron kang dream, nandito lang kami.
Melanie Uy, kasama ko daan sa banda. Bong Santos. Edna Manlikmot. Ito yung aking mga kaibigan sa Project 6 dati. Raymond Borreleta sa Baguio. Mendy Veria Mendoza. Jonjo Trinidad, of course. Arminda Santiago. Vanessa Bihil. Okay. Thank you to all those who watched us for today, for this episode. And maraming salamat sa aking mga panuhin, of course, to Reverend Reg and to Sensei Lucito, Dream Sensei Lucito de Jesus. So, mamaya, abangan nyo, programa niya after my program. So,
Kasama ko po si Resty Santiago, Filipino astrologer.
okay, si Resty. Okay, with that, I'd like to say, magandang gabi sa inyo lahat at magandang kamalayan. Muli, sa Martes, magkita-kita tayo ulit.